Hey students, thanks for joining us this week. We're excited that you're taking this time to join us. Hopefully you guys have been having a great week and getting to do some fun, awesome stuff. We're really excited to have this opportunity, this time to connect with you guys. We're looking forward to our time of worship and then our talk, and then also don't forget about those discussion groups, all right? I really encourage you guys to do your best to jump on here at 4 o'clock, so by 4:25, 4:30-ish at the latest, we can jump into our discussion groups, have that time of community, and build some relationships there. So I'd encourage you guys to do that. We look forward to seeing you guys there in our discussion group time. Thanks for joining us.
Lord, I come, I confess, bowing here, I find my rest. Without you, I fall apart. You're the one that guides my heart. Lord, I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness, oh God, how I need you. Where sin runs deep, your grace is more. Grace is found, is where you are. Where you are, Lord, I am free. Holiness is Christ in me. Lord, I need you, oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness, oh God, how I need you. So teach my song to rise to you. When temptation comes my way, when I cannot stand, I'll fall on you. Jesus, you're my hope and stay. Lord, I need you. Lord, I need you. Oh, I need you. Every hour I need you. My one defense, my righteousness, oh God, how I need you. My one defense, my righteousness, oh God, how I need you. My one defense, my righteousness, oh God, how I need you.
Being young, not so bad. We're not paying the electric bill, or doing our taxes, or choosing an insurance plan. We have summer break, winter break, spring break. Basically, all the breaks. On the other hand, being young is frustrating. We can feel like we're not ready, that we don't have a choice, that we don't have a voice. It seems like we're in a holding pattern, but we don't have to wait for the next stage of life to make a change, to make a difference. Because even though we are next, we are now. We are young.
Hi, I'm Katie.
I'm Melissa.
and thank you for joining us tonight. So we're going to start off by asking a question to each other.
And that question is, what is something you would tell your middle school self?
So for me, I would probably tell my middle school self that it's okay to get help because you're not a burden and you're a blessing.
And for me, it'd be that you should be who God wants you to be, and you shouldn't be who other people want you to be.
Yeah, that's good. So today we're going to be talking about a passage from 1 Timothy. So 1 Timothy was a letter that Paul wrote to Timothy because Paul had done ministry for a lot of years and he had been sharing about the gospel, and Timothy was just starting his ministry, and so Paul had a lot of experience to share with Timothy, and so he was helping to guide Timothy by writing this letter to him. And I think that sometimes that this can be important for us too, because sometimes a tension can build between us and our parents because they want to help us to grow and to guide us, but there's a lot of difference between growing up when our parents and grandparents were growing up and growing up now. But I think that it's important because just similar between Paul and Timothy, they have the same goal of leading people to Christ, and so that's same with us, that our goal should remain the same, to live a life after God. And so I think that's very important. And so today our verse is 1 Timothy 4:12, and it says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity." And I think that's really important because we have a lot of power through our speech, and especially during this time, we have a lot of power through the internet, and it's important that we use that for good and to be following God. And sometimes it can be hard, in situations kind of where I am now, I can feel inadequate to be sharing just this message with you guys, but it's important that we understand, this verse says, that we shouldn't let anyone look down on us because we are young, because God is just as capable of doing a lot through us, even as a young teenager and in high school, that we are not less adequate of doing the work that God has given us just because we are young, and that we can get guidance from our parents and our grandparents because they have lived through a lot, and the work that God does through them is the same work that he can do through us. And so I think that is very important, just to know that we are capable of that.
Another verse that Paul wrote is Ephesians 6:1-4, which says, "Children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord, for this is the right thing to do. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well for you, and you will have a long life on earth." Sometimes when we hear a verse like the one in Timothy, we can feel like we have the ability to take on anything in the world, but that is not always the case. And in Ephesians 6:1-4, which is another verse Paul wrote, it says, "Children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord, for this is the right thing to do. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well for you, and you will have a long life on earth." I think we can learn from our parents' experiences, and this way we don't have to make the same mistakes that they might have made or that others have made. And you don't always have to agree on everything adults say, to be able to learn from them. I think, but it's important to still have the same goal, which is to follow God to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, I think it's important that, like, in our disagreements, that we can still display respect to each other, and that disagreements are bound to happen, but in that we're still honoring our father and mother, just like the verse in Ephesians say, and obeying our parents, because there are things that our parents have learned and lived through that we just haven't, and we can learn from that, and we can learn from our parents, and that's a really important thing, that we don't need to do things that our parents have told us not to do, because they are looking out for us, and that the adults in our life want what's best for us, and we can honor them by listening to them and following what they tell us to do, because we all have the same goal, to listen to God and to follow Him. And yeah, I think that's very important. So we're going to finish up, and we're going to have the discussion groups after. You can just hop on the Zoom link. Yeah, have a great night.